What's going on, everybody? It is May 1st. It's a Friday. Hope you're doing well. So we've got some interesting news here. I want to go over some Star Wars stuff, and I want to go over New Warriors again because there was a funny interaction between Joe Rogan and his guest where they roasted Marvel. And I find that one really funny because it's honestly, I wouldn't say Joe Rogan is a normie, but he's probably as close as you're going to get to, something that we can compare that to. Because, he's not reading comic books, but he finds it interesting. So we'll get to that one when we get to it. But I'm going to go over this first. So Star Wars, right? There's been a division in the fan base with Star Wars for quite a while, at least since The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi is when that really kicked off. That's when there was a major split, and I don't think it'll ever be healed. As long as the current people that are in charge over at Lucasfilm stay there, I don't think that rift is ever going to heal because they keep doubling down on stupid stuff and they have no intention of ever changing it. They've ruined the original trilogy, undone all of Luke Skywalker's accomplishments, and they continue to undo his heroics even after the Disney trilogy has passed. So this is from a book called Alphabet Squadron. It was released in June 2019, and it downplays Luke's heroics in destroying the original Death Star. So what happened? Okay. Let me give you a little backstory. Rogue One, if you haven't seen it, it's actually a decent movie, mostly because they touch on, the source material from the original trilogy, the stuff everyone likes. Jen Erso, they rewrite canon, retcon or whatever, to say that her and her group are the ones that went and got the plans and gave it to Princess Leia. And then they went out in a blaze of glory, getting the plans and saving, I guess, the galaxy by getting those plans, and then Luke Skywalker and his fleet went in and took out the Death Star. But that turns out to not be that big of a deal because, well, as always, Disney, for some reason, just loves messing with this character. There's been a few times now that they've done this, aside from The Last Jedi, where they completely ruined the character, but they just keep taking shots at him. And, I don't get the point of this. Like, why are you running this into the ground? They paid a lot of money for these rights, and they keep doing this. I'll never understand it. But what's going on here? So here's the passage. It's not that much. They say, Jen Erso? She began, because if they didn't, the rest of the story would be meaningless. The woman who started it all and destroyed the Death Star? ? The first one? The real one, I mean? General Skywalker and Red Squadron destroyed the Death Star, Nath said. Skywalker fired the last shot, and it was all. Jyn did everything that mattered. I met her once. That's pretty much it. Now you'd say, well, that's not very much. That's not a lot of dialogue. It's more so the point that they keep just taking a dump on this character, and I don't get the point in it. I really don't. Is this done to kind of prop up Rey? Like, hardcore fans aren't going to get into this. And the hardcore fans are the ones that are going to buy your books constantly. Like, how do you plan on selling books consistently when you keep dumping on the character? Okay? I don't understand it. And there's been so many instances of this. There was another book, I can't remember the details, but I know I talked about it in a video where they did something else to Luke, and it's just, why do they keep doing this? I don't understand it. I don't get it. But there you go. There's another one, and this is on top of all of the recent news with the new stupid female-centric show that everyone's making fun of. And then you've got the High Republic with Jedi Karen, the He-Man edition. I don't know what's going on, but I guess good job. You guys have completely wrecked this franchise. This is why Galaxy's Edge is completely empty when you were open, and will remain empty because no one gives a damn about your new Disney Star Wars. And you've really blown it. Maybe not quite as much as Marvel has, but you're getting pretty close. So I saw this a little while ago. Bounding to Comics picked it up, and it prompted me to want to talk about it. So Joe Rogan had Kurt Metzger on his show, and they discussed New Warriors. They also talked about your boy Zach for a little bit too. He could have gone on Joe Rogan, by the way. Probably his greatest mistake, and I know he regrets it. So I'm not gonna lay into him too hard on this one. But Joe and Kurt ragged on New Warriors for quite a bit, which I found comical because New Warriors is a trash fire. This is probably as close as you're going to get to like normal people that don't follow any of this stuff roasting it. and they roast it pretty hard. I find it humorous because it's just like, it just shows that nobody likes this. And no one's going to buy this. This is going to be a humongous flop. So, oh, by the way, I checked the listing over on Comixology, and now this is listed as a mini series. So it's one of 5. So there's going to be 5 issues. They've canceled it already. What they do at Marvel, this is the thing. So they don't cancel stuff now. They just give it mini series. They did this several times. They've done it with Iceman. So remember when they brought Iceman back? Terrible comic that got canceled. They gave it a miniseries. It'll be Iceman, one of, I don't remember what is 6, one of 6 or 8, however many issues they gave the return of Iceman. So what they do is they just give books miniseries. Now, I don't know if that was planned intentionally, or they were going to try to keep this series going, but I've noticed it was recently changed to 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5, because they got up to issues 3 up there on Comixology. So now it's a miniseries. So they'll give it a 5-issue run, and then it's done. And I doubt you'll ever see these characters again. You'll never see them again. I'm putting at least as they are. Okay, let me put it that way. What I think will happen is I'll do the 5 issues, and then some of these characters you're never going to see again. You're never going to see Dora Explorer come back, Snowflake and Safe Space, and the Internet Gas guy and Morbius Jr. They'll probably all be reworked. I guarantee you they'll all be reworked, and then they'll come back, but I think they're likely gone. So we'll see what happens. But I know they keep delaying it. It's been delayed 3 times now on Comixology. Now the date I checked last night is May 15th. We know that date's not correct because they're not releasing digital comics before the shops for sure now. And we have a listing of their May 20th unless they change it, because they are allowed to change it up to today. So unless they add it to the list, I don't know when this book is coming out. It is going to come. I can't wait for it to come. I'll be reading all 5 of these glorious issues. So anyway, what's interesting about this is going to be as close as you're going to get to getting a take and actually getting to hear it from people that have no interest or even follow Marvel. Like, these are just 2 people like looking at this from the outside looking in. You're like, what do they have to say about it? So Joe Rogan takes some swipes at it, says, when Rogan gets a look at Snowflake and Safe Space, he states, look at how unironically they swapped the colors blue and pink. Because, of course, they, gave, I guess, Snowflake, the blue one is the they, them. And then the pink one is a he. I'm not sure. I don't know. I just know we only have 5 issues of this glorious book. So he added, it's ridiculous. If you dress like that, even people that don't want to make fun of you will start making fun of you. Mitzker chimes in, I can't mock you better than you're doing yourself. He adds, hey, why don't you make fun of the stupidest woke comic you could think of? And this would be my pick. Rogan asks, when Rogan gets a look at Trailblazer, he states, oh no, that's not a superhero. Her power is eating cake. And then he says, reading the Trailblazer description, she receives her powers from God, but not that God you were thinking of. He states, Christ, I just can't do this. He then adds, she looks strong, like she can carry a lot of stuff on her back. What the F? She eats too much. You can't be a superhero and eat too much, which is true. So superheroes, they have to stay physically fit. Unless she has some power where she has like super lung capacity or something when she's like this. I mean, I don't think she can pull like fitness out of her backpack. So like you have to work at that. You have to constantly stay in shape to stay in shape. You have to run. You have to go to the gym. These are facts, which I know a lot of the NPC like to ignore, but it's the truth. Like you can't look like this and be a superhero. Joe Rogan is absolutely correct on that one. And it's funny to me. It's just like, why don't, seeing characters that are fit and everything, I would think would strive people to want to do better, but instead they want, to take that away. No one wants to see this character. I dare you, Marvel, to give this character her own ongoing book. Please do it. I just always found it funny. Like I said, when they first announced this and we made fun of the trailer on the channel and a few other people did, when the description was that she like she blazes into trouble, to go save people. I find it funny, like she maybe for 30 seconds she rushes into action and then she's gasping for air again because she's so out of shape. But anyway, I found this humorous. If you want to see it for yourself, just look up Joe Rogan roasts Marvel New Warriors. The clip will pop up, and it's pretty humorous. But to me, this was, what do people that don't follow all this think of these characters? Well, that's what they think when they see this. Everybody thinks this is a joke. This is the high point of NPC Marvel. Anyway, give me your thoughts on this, guys. What do you think? Sound off in the comments below. Also, if you would, share the video. Throw a like up if you would as well. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that and subscribe if you're new.